Hello, everybody. We're glad you're here.
Hey guys.
So,
Hi, everyone.
we have a great podcast here for you. We have Money Coach Mary RN, myself, and our special guest is Sarah, and she's going to rock your socks off today in this powerful podcast.
I can't wait to hear from Sarah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I think we're going to talk about budgeting and vacations, so which are two of my favorite topics. I'm a budgeting nerd, maybe not as much as David, as I have begun to understand. But I do love a good vacation. So we're going to talk about how to
Who
combine them.
doesn't?
And we're going to make sure that when you are on vacation, which may be a perfect time, fall break is coming up. So if you've got kids in school that are going on fall break, or you've got a trip planned coming up for the holidays, this will actually be perfect to make sure that you have that line item in your budget. That way, then you are aware of your spending and you have a plan just for vacation. It's a lot of people feel when they go on vacation, they have that I deserve mentality of, well, I'm on vacation, so I deserve to be in paradise,
Mhm.
and I deserve to buy what I want when I want to, and not think about the repercussions of I do have to pay for that. Like, whether I'm paying for it right now or I'm paying for it later, like I do have to pay for that.
Mhm.
And resorts make it really easy with room charges and stuff like that, where you're not even in the
Mhm.
moment actually paying for the food or the service, whatever it is. And they do that for a reason, because
Mhm.
you tend to spend more when you don't think that you have to pay for it right in the
Yeah,
moment.
the Disney bracelet.
Right. Yes. Just go ahead and tap it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Tap the bracelet. Go ahead. I'm like, tap this.
Yeah. Especially when your kids find out that they can tap the bracelet.
Right. Right.
Now, kids, if you tap the bracelet, that's coming out of your allowance. No.
Right. That's one thing that we implement with our kids is if they want souvenirs, they have to pay for it out of their own money.
Mhm.
And so it gives them, and I give them like they save their money from Christmas or birthdays or whatever.
Sure.
And then they're like, well, how much money do we get to spend? And I'll give them a certain amount. And then it's like, you have to understand that, if you want this thing and you want it today for the rest of vacation, you're not getting anything because you're out
Mhm.
of money.
Yeah.
And so
Don't buy
I
anything day
always,
one.
yes. And it's no matter where you go, it could be the dumbest thing. It's just like,
Right.
oh, I have money to spend. I want to spend it. Let me spend it.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, do you really want that? Do you
Mhm.
really? My kids, we went the last 2 years, we have went to Maui,
Mhm.
and my kids are obsessed with the henna tattoos,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
and they were like $50. And I'm
Yeah.
like, do we really need a tattoo? Like, it's only gonna last
For
seven
the
days.
equivalent of Sharpie.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, it only lasts 7 days, and so, like, if you get it on day 1 when we're here,
Yeah.
by the time you get home, nobody's gonna even know it existed
Gone.
because it's already gone.
Mhm.
And so then every day, "Can I get a tattoo today? How about tomorrow? How about right now? Can I?" And I'm like, "Stop." And so I did the first year we went, I said no. I was like, "You will not." Last year, or I guess it was actually this year in March when we went, they had a deal and it was $25. And so I let them spend their money if that's what they wanted to spend it on. That could be part of it. But I made them wait until the end of the trip to
Mhm.
get it. And then I accidentally brushed up against my daughter's arm and I smeared the whole thing.
Oh no.
She was super mad at me. I felt awful. So we went back and I was like, can she get this redone? I'm like, I'll pay for it. Cause I told her, I said, you don't have to pay for the second one. Like, that's my fault.
Right.
And she's like, and the lady was super nice. She ended up redoing it for free. And so it was great. And then we went on vacation again over the summer and they had henna tattoos too. And I was like, we're not doing that. And my daughter's like, yeah, do you remember last time, mom? And I'm like, I do. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we're probably
One
not
thing
going
with
to get those
kids
anymore.
is they definitely remember.
Yes. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, I know I make deals with kids all the time. My brother has 3 kids, and one of them I made a little deal. He did something, and I was going to give him some money, and I says, "Okay, now I can give you this money now, or I can give you a part of it. You tell me how much you want. However, when this time happens, whatever you have left, I will double it." So he's like, "I'll wait, because I'll get double that amount." So I try to instill in them, that savings aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like I have an 8-year-old who would be like, "Give me the money now," and I have a 5-year-old who would go, "I'll wait." Like they're
Hmm.
two very different personalities.
Hmm. Yep.
That's so
Yeah, and
funny.
with us, it's the 11-year-old that was like, "I'll wait." But if I gave that same offer to the 7-year-old, I'll take it now, because they only go to the store and they expect they have to get something. So they're like, "Can I go? Can I go?" And then the whole time they're there, "Can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this?" You have to get them something if they go. And it's just like spoiled. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I always I try to avoid going into stores at all costs at this point, because for that simple fact of like, even if I'm like, I'm just going in to grab one thing, they're like, "Can I come? Oh, can I get it?" Like, I can go in to grab a gallon of milk and they'll be like, "Can we go look at birthday cards? Can I get this birthday card?" I'm like, "It's not even your birthday."
Right.
"Well, can I get it?" "No, why? Like, why are we doing this?" And so I try to have the conversation before we ever go into the store of like, "Here's the deal. This is what we're buying. Don't ask me for anything because we're not getting it." And it never works. I would love to tell you, like, having those conversations is great and it changes the whole thing. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
You
They
know,
still ask. They still want.
I can say, I had one client, and they were trying to become debt free and all that kind of stuff. Their daughter was huge, "Buy me this, buy me that." Was like, "Mom, you can't spend it because you have to save to get out of debt. You can't buy that right now because you got to get out of debt." The daughter was more into it than the mother was. It was
Oh, wow.
hilarious.
That's cool.
Yeah. How old was the daughter?
7.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So she
Cool.
wasn't really even old enough to comprehend what was going
Yeah.
on. She just knew that this was mom's goal and she was
She
going to help her get
was,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Nice.
her mom told her that if I get out of debt, I'll have more money for you.
Mm-hmm.
So she's thinking, more
Oh,
money,
right. Yeah.
you know. So it was remarkable. It's all on how you encourage children,
Mm-hmm.
because they only
Mm-hmm.
have a one-track mind.
Mm-hmm.
What can
Yeah.
I get? How fast can I get it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was something when we were in our journey and we were left with the house. I made this horrible paper chain out of construction paper, and it was so large. It draped over all 4 of my dining room windows, like back and down, and it was weaving. It was awful. It was a really good conversation starter, let me tell you. Um, but my kids got to the point of they knew Fridays was payday and Fridays they got to cut chains. And
Mm.
so it would get like Wednesday, Thursday, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's almost Friday. How many chains do we get to cut this week?" And it'd always be a competition of like, well, if one cuts one, then the other one has to cut one because that's only fair, right? And so then it was like, crap, now I really gotta like I gotta go gung ho, like even more so because I gotta make sure that it's fair, that everybody's cutting the same amount of chains. And so then I started to be sneaky about it. And if it was gonna be like if they could cut 3 chains, I would the night before just go in and rip one and be like, "Oh, they don't know. Oh no, you can each cut one chain." So that way then they didn't know. But they knew when that chain was gone, they got to go to Disney. That was the celebration,
Mm.
was you get to go to Disney. So the faster that the chain went away, the quicker they went to Disney.
Nice.
Speaking of the chain, because I did the same thing, um, each chain was based on a dollar amount.
Hmm.
Did you have one color, or did you have multiple colors?
Nope, I had multiple colors and I wasn't even David was probably super detailed. Like his was color coordinated. Mine was not, okay. Each link was $500. And so it was like, 500, 1,000, 15, 2,000, and all the way up. And I just grabbed colors. It was just like, whatever, this is what I wrote on, and just linked them all together. It was not pretty. It was not color coordinated. It didn't have a pattern. It was just thrown together.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, mine was color coded. Each color was
I'm shocked.
one
I know,
bill.
right?
It was like one bill. So this was this bill and this bill, and then each one was $100 inside that bill. So it was like it took maybe 6 chains to break this bill, and then this one was 10 chains, and this was, it was built up that way. Because I had to have it an equal dollar amount. And 100 I can make it equal all the way around, but 500 I was missing. So, and I actually pretty much my whole entire house went throughout the whole house at first, because when I first came to rent, when I first did my first budget, I was over $300,000.
Oh.
So I had a huge chain.
I feel like this is worthy of a picture, David. Like, I feel like we all need to know what this looked like at some point in
Agreed.
life.
Agreed. Because we need to YouTube this and let
Yes.
it go viral.
Yes, it needs to be a big deal. So I hope you
Correct.
have pictures to show.
I don't have pictures of the whole thing. I do have one room, but it was
I mean,
hilarious.
that's sufficient enough. I am just
Enough.
curious more
Enough.
of the color coordination
Agreed. Agreed.
and the fact that they're all equal. It's just all symmetric and great.
Well, the colors weren't, the dollar amount was equal because it had to end with $100. So, like I said, sometimes they were 5 chains, sometimes 7. They kept longer and longer as the bills got bigger. The first few, there was a lot of them. There was only 1 or 2 chains, but then it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and the last chain group was green because once I completed it, that would be victory.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was definitely it even had purpose within the colors. So it was
That is
hilarious.
shocking.
Right? So, but yeah, I mean, the chains is a great analogy, a very good way, because being visual, being able to see it.
Mhm.
I mean, my first 9 months, I was able to knock out 90,000 because I was so gun ho.
Nice.
There's a class that you go through, right? To learn about the budgeting. My first class, I go through it. I'm, well, this ain't for me. And I hear a voice, oh, yes, you do. You are going back. You need to learn those
You just
principles.
think, mister.
So I went back, and the very second class is, oh, guess what? We're going to get rid of your credit cards. Oh, no, I'm not. I had 10 credit cards. Now, I was playing the game, okay? 9 credit cards had one small charge every single month, and they were automatically paid every single month. And one card was maxed out 3 times, but it was paid off every single time. But it was my main use card. And so I'm like, and it was mainly done that way so I can have for very low credit utilization, which bumped up my credit score. When I first did my first budget, I had over 700. I believe it was 753. Okay. Um, but it was hilarious because I was like, I'm not getting rid of my cards. My third class, I cut up 9 of the 10,
Oh,
and
wow.
9 of the 10 cards were also closed because it was easy to wipe out those and completely close it out. And I even had them saying, if you close it out, you can't reopen it. So you might as well just
Oh,
keep it.
darn.
There's no yearly charge. You can just keep it and, just keep it open. I was like, no, I need it closed. And I need that letter that says it is closed with a zero balance. And it was hilarious because they didn't want to do that. You know, they tried every trick in the book, but I was so gun ho about the only thing I did not do. So one of the leaders told me that I need to get rid of my car. Now, I had just bought a brand new car that drives by itself, way out of my budget. Okay. And I was like, no, I need it. It drives, I go 70 miles one way to and from work. And I was like, I need it to make sure I get home safe. And they were like, it's too much of a car for you. It's like, no, I need it. 6 months later, I actually got rid of it. I actually had to follow with my, hey, you got to practice what you preach. If you're telling other people to do it, you better do it.
True.
Yeah.
So,
We did that. We went through Ramsey years ago, and our daughter came to us and she's like, Mom, I want to go do this with my friends. And I said, okay. I said, but can I ask how you're gonna pay for that? Because you don't have a job? She was like 11. And she's like, uh, and I said, well, you can borrow from mom and dad. And so she's like, oh, okay. And it's borrow, 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 borrow. And then we went to her one time, we're like, honey, the bank of mom and dad is now closed. And you have to pay all that back. Those eyes, they're gonna pop out of her head.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because she still didn't have a job.
Right.
And it was like $500. That's $500, And so we're like, she goes, I don't know. I said, well, you could just around here and you get paid for doing extra chores and you can work it off. And she's like, okay. And so she would do anything I asked, the meanest little thing. And we of course, you know, but she paid it off. And girl has bought 2 cars for cash and has a healthy bank account. So lesson learned when she was 11.
Yeah.
So she's good. I brag on her all the time. And she's a Leo. She loves it when I tell her I'm bragging.
I feel like kids think they just have that mindset of like money is just limitless and no
Yeah.
matter what they ask for,
Mhm.
they'll get it.
It's like Santa
And
Claus.
yes. And so like my 8-year-old right now, she's like, for Christmas, I would like a Barbie dream house and an American Girl doll and da 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 da. And I'm like, would you? like, and like, congratulations on all of the things that you would like to have. Does it mean you're going to get them? And she's like, well, I'm going to ask Santa. And I said, well, you can ask Santa. I said, but Santa's going to come ask mom and dad if you're allowed to have them.
Mm.
Mom and dad's probably going to say no. But it's just even like for birthdays and stuff, we have started to steer away from presents and do more of an experience. And so we actually implemented that last year where I mean they still got presents, right? Like don't get me wrong, I wasn't
Sure.
like the person that was like, "Oh, happy birthday, you get nothing." But we focused more on doing an experience. So
Mhm.
they would get a date day with just mom and dad where no siblings came along. It was just
Nice.
they got to pick the meal, they got to pick the activities, but it was all within a budget.
Mhm.
And so it was just having those conversations of like, well, you can go to Build-A-Bear, but then you can't go to Chuck E. Cheese. And so, like, which one do you want to do more? And they're like, well, if I go to Chuck E. Cheese, then can I go to Starbucks too? And I'm like, yeah, you can. And they're like, okay, like, I want to do that. And so it was like, okay, like, let's have these conversations of like, what does this
Mhm.
look like? And what do
Mhm.
you really want? Because you can't have everything.
Mm.
And so again, my 5-year-old did really well. She was under budget, still had money left over. And my 8-year-old was like just coming. I think she was within a few cents. And I was like, girl, you came super close.
But she was under.
He was, he was. And then
You get
my
to spend
oldest,
every penny.
my oldest daughter's like, well, this isn't fair. We didn't do this when I was a kid. And I was like, you can still have a date day. Like, I'll take you. We can go get our toes done or something. Like,
Right.
heck, I don't care. Like, you're
Right.
not getting a present. But then on their birthday morning, I would have balloons and then a box of their favorite candy and like maybe a bag of chips that they liked. So it wasn't anything super elaborate because they
Right.
already celebrated their birthday. They
Right.
got their day with mom and dad and they got to do all those activities. That way, then they still got something small.
Mhm.
And it seemed to work really, really well. And we did the same thing last year at Christmas, actually. Um, our elf on the shelf brought um, a present to an indoor water park, and
Oh, okay.
the elf actually flew to the hotel to deliver it to them that
What?
morning. Like they had no idea. And then on Christmas morning, they each had 3 gifts to open, and they were all under $50. And I will tell you, that was the best Christmas my kids have ever had. And I really think it was because they had the gifts that they wanted and they didn't have such a selection to have
Mhm.
to try to play with everything in that,
Yeah.
that Christmas morning. And they're still playing with those things still
Mhm.
now, which I don't feel like has ever happened. It's always
Yeah.
like you play with it for the first week and then it's thrown to the side. But it's
Right.
like, it wasn't, I mean, it was stuff that they wanted
Mhm.
and they were excited to get it and they were playing with it and they still play with it. And I'm like, I'm not going to change this. Like, this seems to be working. And they were asking again, like, do you think our elf will bring us another trip somewhere? And I'm like, not if you want an American Girl doll and Barbie Dream House.
Right.
Like, you're not getting all that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So,
all based on how nice you are, naughty or nice. You weren't perfect this year, so you're
right.
not getting everything. No.
Right.
So if you're perfect, you might get everything. Maybe it
Yeah.
might steer him to be a little bit nicer. No,
Yeah. And
When
I
our
think
kids
you, oh,
were
go ahead.
littler, we do like this: something you want, something you need.
something borrowed.
So, no, not
That's your
something
wedding.
borrowed. That's a wedding, David. No, want, need, something, and something to wear and something to read.
Mm.
And so they would get 4 presents.
Speaking of
And
something to read,
yeah. Yeah,
um,
and that worked well for us for years. Now they're, 39, 25, and 23. So it's like, here's your budget, have Amazon deliver it to me.
Just pick your own gifts. I'll pay for it.
Yeah, and give me a list, and then you get this is your budget. Give us a list. We'll pick what you're gonna get, and we're gonna wrap it up so you're still gonna get surprised. It's
Oh,
stuff
there
you
you go.
want,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna know exactly what you're gonna get until you
Right.
open it. So
Yeah.
they like that. We did that last year, and they liked it. But now we've
well,
got the two future son-in-laws too, so
I asked for this,
Your
this, and
budget's
this.
growing.
it is.
I asked for this, this, and this. It sounds like this.
You don't know how mama raps. I do
Maybe
boxes
you should
inside of
let David wrap your presents.
boxes.
It would
Maybe
be color
should.
coordinated and
Correct.
everything.
Now everybody gets their own wrapping paper,
Okay.
and so I can keep it straight.
Yeah.
And everybody has to open the same amount.
I am that way too.
So, like, okay, everybody's got, including the future son-in-laws, they have their own wrapping paper, and they all get the same amount of packages to open, but you don't know what's inside of it until you do. Gives a little element of surprise.
Yeah.
I did one year, and this was for my brother. I was brutal. So I had wrapped up a
I'm
box,
shocked.
and inside that box was another gift. Inside that was another gift. Inside that was another gift. And then inside that was a note to where the other gift was.
Oh, jeez.
Again, going down to another one, going down, and then it finally told him where the real gift was. And he was like, "You made me go through all that, but it was hilarious seeing your face."
That's what I was going to say. How mad was he? And was it even a good gift? Like,
Oh, it
was
was a
he
real
excited
good gift.
about the gift?
Oh, yeah, it was a real good gift.
Okay.
It was well worth it. But throughout the process, he was getting worse and worse and worse. When he actually went to the gift, oh, he was happy. He's like, "It's fine. I forgive you." I was like, "What do you mean? He gave me a good watch."
He didn't even need to give you a present. Like, that was the present for you
Right.
to watch his face.
Right.
Yes,
We did that for my sister-in-law one time. My brother wanted to get her some the kids profile pictures to put on a chain, and she has 3 kids, and so that came in a box like this big. We wrapped it 6 times in a bigger box, and she by the time she got down to it, she's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Aw.
But yes, wrap inside a wrap inside a wrap inside a wrap. It's fun.
you
All the things we do.
yeah. But you can only do with this somebody that you can trust. Like my brother, I torture him all the time. I'm the older brother, so and we're opposite. I'm detailed oriented, and he's a free spirit. He just does what he. So throughout our childhood, it aggravated me because everything had to have its place. And he would, matter of fact, if I left, I knew if you even touched my computer, because something wasn't in the exact place. That's how well I was. So my pin's sitting like this on the keyboard. He'll move it just like that. And I'll come in, you were on my computer. No, I wasn't. All he did was literally moved it just a little bit just to irritate me. That's how detailed I am.
So what do you do if your window's open and the breeze moves something? How do you handle that?
Ooh, that's a good
You
question.
know, it actually aggravates me because, when things get moved, the lighter stuff, because I'll place papers in an exact certain point so I know exactly what letter it's touching, and all of it'll get blown up. I'll be like, dang you, wind. Not like it's going
It
to
teach
help.
you to keep your window open.
But it's so
David,
nice.
did you know they have these things called paperweights that stop people from doing that?
Well, most of the things I do.
What if there was something to hold the papers in place, kind of like, I don't know, a paperweight?
He'd have to find a category for that in his budget.
Right? Most of the time, it has a drawer, it has a specific file it goes into. But on the rare occasions, it's out because it needs to be stated to me, So as soon as I pass, oh, that's right, I got to do that. Those are usually the only time papers are out, is when it has to be a reminder.
Sarah, what got you into doing budgeting like this?
Just my own journey. It was honestly like I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, I'm a lazy budgeter. I'll be real honest. Like I'm a bucketer, like you are, Mary, and it's like I'm not taking the time like David does to sort through my grocery list and be like, well, this is household items, and then add the tax back and move it over here and split this receipt. And like, no, thank you. I buy it all at the grocery store and it's all groceries. And the same thing with vacation. Like anything, if I'm budgeting for vacation, I have one line item, it says vacation, and everything that I'm spending on vacation is there. And I don't get it right. And I tell clients that all the time. I'm like, do not feel bad when you're starting budgeting and it doesn't go like you expect. Because I'm like, I've been budgeting for over 6 years and I never get it right. Like, I've either got too much money somewhere, I don't have enough money somewhere else because, oh, you know what? The school wants to do a fundraiser this month that nobody knew about. And so it's like things happen and you just have to be able to adjust it. And it's just, for me, it's easier to adjust it in buckets. And I always have, those specific categories where I know I am typically over budgeted on. And so those are the easiest ones and the first ones that I go to if I need to pull money from somewhere. And then, you just reevaluate and you just kind of go with the flow. You kind of have to look at budgeting and just be super flexible. It can't be set in stone because you're going to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure. And that's where most people get frustrated and they just throw up their hands and say, I'm done. I'm not doing this. This is not for me. And that's not the case because none of us are getting it perfect anyway. Maybe David is. I don't know.
I have a catch-all budget. I have a line for the catch-all, so if something fails here, it can plop over there.
Do you put money in it though? Like, do you put it, like you budget money for it?
Yeah. For most months, I have $500 goes in my catch-all. So that way I have a cushion. If it doesn't get used, that goes in for investments, and then I put $500 more.
What if you go over that?
Then I'm screwed. Then I'm a basket case ripping out my hair. What happened? It didn't work.
Right?
Oh, okay. Did that happen last month?
Yeah, I know, right?
Are you guys miscellaneous categories users? I always have a miscellaneous category
So
for things like.
I'm not. I lump it all into fun money.
Okay. I have fun, entertainment, and I have miscellaneous.
Okay.
And then we actually had to build a line item in for my husband. He gets money every month, but we actually had to put another line item in because the boy was blowing the budget. And I finally said, where's, and every month I go, what is this? What is this, John X? I go, don't worry about it.
You know what? I actually had a client this week who asked me that same question. She was like, for my husband's money, she's like, should I just throw it all into one category and just call it, like whatever, his money? And I'm like, I would, because that way then if he's the one making the purchase, like it just goes under that line item. Because she's like, I'm really tired of being like, why'd you go to the gas station and spend XYZ? Like, what is that for? And she's like, I don't want to micromanage it that much to where I have to know what category it goes into. She's like, I just want to acknowledge that he did spend the money and then just put it in there. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, just make a line item and title it, his money or, whatever you want to call it. And then all of the transactions that he makes just goes right in that.
Well, he likes to have like so much cash. So he gets so much cash at the beginning. But then sometimes he swipes the card and I'm like, I got tired of asking. So I just finally put a John X category, and that's where that goes.
Yeah.
So
that seems to be the easiest way to do it.
I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I never ask him what he spends his money on.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm similar. I have like the fun money, I can do whatever I want. Any of the other categories, I have an accountability partner that checks me. It's like, what was that? Just to make sure it's in right. Because, when you're single, you have to have an accountability partner.
You gotta have it. Yeah.
So we are at halfway point. So first of all,
already?
Yeah, no, we're having so much fun, right?
Time flies.
So first of all, I wanted to bring some of the comments up from YouTube. First of all, we were talking about how I had a very good credit score and knocked out 9 of the 10 credit cards. And he made a mention that took your credit score way down. Yes, way down. I went down to 603 and it kept going down because I was paying off things, I was knocking things out, and your credit score is all about debt. So when you get rid of it, it's killing it. Especially because once I knocked out those credit cards, I no longer had a low credit utilization, and you're closing out a lot of accounts at one time. So it was going, so yes. Also, I don't know what this was for, but put it on their wish list. And then he was mentioning about you were aware, read, and he gave a good book, Audrey and Monk. And then we also have okay, so this is actually going to be a good question that I'm going to ask in just a couple minutes. So we like to let you know of our sponsor. Our sponsor is in the description before. It's Chime. It'll give you $100. So make sure you check that out. And now this is the point where anybody inside of the YouTube, you are able to ask questions, and we will bring it on live. And we have a question: what is the most fun aspect of budgeting?
Sarah?
For me, the most fun for me is actually creating the budget. So I love budgeting so much that I actually create my whole year's budget at one time.
Do you really?
And I'll tell you why. So one year when we were in our debt-free journey, I forgot to budget to renew our license plates. And so my husband's like, hey, the license plates are coming due. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't budget for it, so I don't think we're gonna do that. And he's like, I don't think it works that way. And I'm like, crap.
Dang it.
So had to redo my budget because again, I don't get it right. And so I was like, I am gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go through like at the end of December, and I'm just gonna go through like all the pay periods and like what is our income going to look like. And like it's not right because I know like my husband's going to get a raise at the beginning of the year and then like I get one mid-year, and so like all that fluctuates, but I'm just like simple, like let me figure this out. I just need a plan. I need to make sure that I don't forget those one-off expenses. And so like for us it's like our car insurance is every 6 months, and so I want to make sure that that's in the budget. And then license plates, because you kind of need that. And so just those one-off expenses where it's like, okay, like who has birthdays this month, let me make sure there's birthday money budgeted in there. And like, okay, like these are the times that we usually take vacation, like what is that gonna look like? And just getting a general idea. And then like as each month gets closer to switching, then I'm going back through and I'm really evaluating and going, okay, like now that it's closer, what does this really look like? And is this a realistic budget? What needs tweaked? And then I just make that tweak. And then when the month switches, then it's just ready to go and it's there. And again, it's probably not perfect because something's going to happen, but I love the budget creation side of it. I am a numbers nerd. I do coaching part-time, and I'm also a part-time controller. And so I am doing everything accounting, payroll, HR, all of that stuff. And so I just love numbers. I have my MBA, and so just a numbers person. So the creation side of it is like absolutely fun for me.
Nice. David?
Well, I guess for me, the most fun about budgeting is so within my sinking fund is where I put all my yearly expenses and things like that. I always have to have a vacation. And for a while, I was going on cruise ships because I love cruise ships. I haven't been on a cruise ship ever since the pandemic. They're just different. I want to get back to cruise ships, but they got to get back to normal. We got a new normal. But I always look forward every single time for that vacation that I'm going on. So every single time I do my budget, and I'm usually ahead, not quite a year. I usually do my budget 2 months out, and then that way it gets approved and everything like that before I actually get to the month, because sometimes I can't really get with my accountability partner. And a lot of times my accountability partner, that looks good. It's like, no, 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 you have to change one thing. You know, it's like just change something. I don't care.
Right, something.
They're like, but I'm not really committed to you. I'm not like that. It's like, I don't care. Just change something. But
Right.
I always look inside of my sinking fund for my vacation, because depending on how big that is where I get to go.
Mhm.
And I'm always like, bigger, bigger, bigger. So that's the exciting part for me
For
for my
me,
budget is the once a year vacation that I get to go on.
for us, it's being able to throw extra money in the sinking funds. Like we paid the house off last year. That was huge. But now my husband goes, he's like, I really want to retire. Well, we went to Hawaii last year and both of my girls got engaged on the trip. So he goes, I guess I don't get to retire when I want to. I think not.
Yeah.
I think not. But being able to have a sinking fund and have a goal, like we did the same thing, like for vacations and stuff like that, knowing that that's our goal and watching that rise, that to me is the most fun. And being able to say, okay, this is my grocery budget, man. This month I'm $100 under.
Yeah. Do you guys set like at the new year? I'm one that I always set a financial goal of like either I want to save X amount of money or I want to invest X amount, like whatever that may be. Like last year I had a goal. I turned 40 last month, and my goal was to have X amount of dollars in the bank by the time I turned 40. And so, like for me, that was a challenge to make sure that we were saving enough every month to get to that goal. And we got there. We got there in August, so I got there before my birthday.
Okay.
And so it was okay, I did this. So now what's next year's goal? Which I don't know what that looks like yet, but I always try to set something that way then I'm striving towards something, and that way then my budget is reflecting that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were on track to pay the house off last year. We were on track to pay it off in July. And our oldest rents the house across the yard from us. Well, my husband was working on that house, so they were living over there, but cooking over here because they had no kitchen. And her now fiance, he's cooking over here one night, and he says, "Hey, do you want to go to Hawaii in July?" And I'm like, "Much? Tell me more about that." And he has family that lives over there. He's like, "We're going again," and so I'm just asking people if they want to go. And so, I'm talking to my husband. I said, we're on track to pay the house off in June or July. I said, but if we go to Hawaii, it's probably going to be September, October. What do you think? He goes, I think Hawaii. I said, I agree. So we did.
Yes.
So we did.
Yeah.
We still paid the house off last year. It was not in July. It was in October. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is to me the most fun is being able to see those goals and then see that money going in there. Right now, it's the 2 weddings were funny.
Are you going back to Hawaii for weddings too?
Um, the one has planned hers to be here in the St. Louis area. The other one, whose fiance has people in Hawaii, they haven't decided. They haven't
Okay.
decided what they're doing. And I'm like, you know what? You guys are getting X amount of dollars. We're not funding a wedding. We're giving you X amount of dollars for whatever you want to use it for. And that's
Yeah.
how we're doing.
So, Sarah, if your budget had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. What would it be? Um, I don't even know.
While you think about it, Mary, what would your theme song be?
Oh crap! I knew you were going to ask me that. I got 2: celebration or money.
Oh, I'm like over here trying to be creative of like, like what would my theme song be?
I'm not creative like that.
Well, for me, it's an old song, and it would not be the lyrics. It would just be a certain course of it. Matter of fact, I actually took the ringtone of it. It's Pink Floyd "Money," the cash register, that part of it. So now, Sarah, give us your
I'm
theme
still
song.
over here thinking. I don't know. I'm like stumped on this. I'm like trying to go through like all these lists of songs in my head and be like which one would fit with my budget? Um,
So, Jason, congratulations, you have stumped
I
Sarah.
know. I'm stumped. I don't know. The first song that came to my mind was Party in the USA. And I have
Okay.
like I don't even know how to tie that into like maybe because I like to have fun, like especially
Yeah.
vacations,
Vacations
like
is a party.
let's have fun, but let's
Right.
do it within reason and what makes sense
Mhm.
for us. And I'm all about like even right now, um, with my budget and like my grocery budget and meal planning, trying to make things fun and switch things up. And I actually just had this conversation with a client this week, and I was like, who set the rules that we have to eat what we eat when we eat it? Like, why? And I'm like, and I said this because I'm like, if you have breakfast for supper, can you have supper for breakfast?
Yeah.
Like, is that acceptable? Who set the
Yeah.
standard that this is what we have to do, and why do we feel that we have to follow it? And
Right.
so I'm just like asking these questions. And so um one thing that we did last month, which my kids thought was super fun, and I had a lot of people that really liked the idea, was instead of a traditional supper, we did a concession stand night
Oh.
where it was all set up to where, like we had popcorn and pretzels with cheese and nachos and cheese and candy and pop, and but you couldn't just pick whatever you wanted. You had tickets and you had to buy your
Oh.
meal with those tickets. And so maybe you couldn't get everything that you wanted because it was too high, and so you had to decide what you wanted. And so then we had leftover candy because like I bought the movie theater box
Mhm.
candies, and I put like half in a container and half in another one. So there was two. And we had leftovers. And so I threw all those tickets in a basket and we drew numbers. And if your number got drawn, you got extra candy and you didn't have to use a ticket for it. My kids were obsessed with that. And
Nice.
instead of sitting at the table, we sat in the living room and we watched a movie. And
That is cool.
they loved it. And so they're still asking because they're like, when are we doing concession stand night again? And I'm like, next Thursday, because it's fall break for us
Yeah.
next week. And so I'm like, we're
Yeah.
gonna do it over fall break. And so I'm like, next,
Yeah.
and they're like, we have to wait that long. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, but they just loved it. They just the way it was presented. And even tonight we did a breakfast buffet,
Mhm.
and they were like, oh, can we go get tickets? Can we pay for these? And I'm like, nah, that's not on that. But then
Not
it goes back to, like we had breakfast for supper. So
Mhm.
should I have fed my kids supper for breakfast before they went to school? Like, I don't know.
Well,
Well,
I'm with you on that. I haven't ever gone to the extreme to do that, but I've thought about it because, they say the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And they say your dinner is the least most important. You should have less at dinner, more at breakfast because you have to have energy for the day. Dinner, you're winding down. So I've thought about that a lot because I love steak. I love the nice, big, thick meat, right? And especially when you're winding down, that's not really that good for winding down. So I always thought, well, can't I have my dinner every morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know?
who like
Who says?
yeah, who sets the standard? Who says that that's acceptable or not acceptable? And even so, why do we have to follow it?
Exactly. I mean, in today's economy, people doing whatever they want. I mean, why can't we?
Yeah.
Right. We're a big, well, I eat differently than my whole entire family. So we used to do breakfast for dinner a lot, and I loved it. We've never done dinner for breakfast though.
Well, and
Maybe you should.
you know,
I don't
it,
cook.
a lot of people do kind of a breakfast for dinner, a dinner for breakfast. You ever been to a restaurant and gotten steak and eggs?
No, but that's not what I eat.
Well, no, I know, but steak is like your
Yeah.
dinner and eggs is like your
Right.
breakfast. So you're
Right.
basically having both in the same
Yeah.
shot.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly. So then can you have that for dinner and breakfast?
Right.
Hmm.
So you're having dinner for dinner and dinner for
Well, and
breakfast
then you
and
could add hash
breakfast
browns
for
in the
dinner.
mix. So then you've got steak and potatoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You put a salad with it and you're golden.
Right.
Mhm. It's funny because breakfast is usually the one meal that half the time I skip.
But like if you're doing fasting, you are supposed to skip it.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sarah, tell us about your exercise routine because I was reading in your bio that you like to do the fitness stuff.
I don't really have a routine. So I used to, and then life got super busy and I fell off the wayside. But for a really long time, I was using Erin Opria. She's a trainer in Nashville. She actually, like when Carrie Underwood got started, that was Carrie's
Mhm.
trainer. But she has an app called Pretty Muscles. And so I've done that for a couple years. And then life just got busy like over the summer and stuff. And we hosted an exchange student. And so I just kind of fell off the bandwagon on that. So right now there is no exercise routine. I wish there was. But
So what's stopping you?
oh, I know. I know, right? And you know what? I actually had this conversation. I seen something that said, if somebody tells you to do something or be somewhere at some time, like you are there. But if you tell yourself, I'm going to start working out tomorrow, you don't do it. And why is
Mhm.
that? And I'm like, oh, that is so true. Because I told my husband, I was like, like I really need to get back into this. And he was like, okay. And I'm like, yeah. Like I tell myself that every day. I'm like, okay, like I could carve out like 20 minutes and I could do XYZ. Does that ever happen? No, it doesn't.
It's
And
hard.
I know it's like everything gets busy. And then it's like, I spend more than 20 minutes on social media. Like I could I have the time. Yeah, like I have the time available. It's just I'm choosing to spend it elsewhere, is really what it boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about you. When I work out, I have to do it first thing in the morning or I get too busy.
That's what I used to do. I used to get up at
Mhm.
like 5 o'clock in the morning
Mhm.
and I would get my workout in. And then, by 6 o'clock, I'm like winding down and getting the kids up, getting them ready for
Mhm.
school. And then I'm ready for work and it's fine. And I think now that so I transitioned from a full-time controller position to part-time in
Mhm.
May. And I only go into the office 1 day a week. And so I think that now that I
Wow.
work from home, it's like, oh, I'll have time during the day to get that done. And then yeah, that doesn't happen.
No.
No. Nope.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I work from home for my W-2 and then my business is from home. So I have to get myself going in the morning. The Lord likes to wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, okay.
Back in the day, I used to do 50 push-ups. Then I used to do 3 sets of 60-second planks, full planks, and then I used to do a different kind of plank as well. I forget what it was called, but I did those 3 things every single morning. Now,
Wow.
before I started doing it, I had to work my way up to 50 push-ups, but then I was starting to work changing each push-up to a marine push-up, which a marine push-up is all the way down and doing and that's extremely hard. And I was able to get up to 3 marine push-ups and then 50 regular push-ups um, before I couldn't do any more.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say one thing: doing push-ups strengthens your upper body. Reason I had to stop is I ended up in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair you really strengthen your upper body. So then I was put down on the ground to see how many push-ups I can do. Because I was doing all the work in the chair, I was able to knock out 200 push-ups like that. It was hilarious.
Wow.
And they
Oh,
were like,
wow.
okay. I was like, wait, so the chair is actually better for you than actual doing push-ups? Because I mean,
Yeah.
think I have to pull myself up, I have to push myself up, I have to do everything with
Yeah.
my upper body.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it really increased my upper body strength, you know?
Wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I wish I can get back to it, and eventually I'll get back to it, you know? I just gotta wait for the right time.
I sometimes lack a lot of motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I have a question for you, Sarah. I know one of the things you had in your bio we kind of ran with on a lot of the ads. And I want to kind of expand on that a little bit just because it was humorous and I really liked the idea. Christmas in Hawaii. How does that look?
I don't know. We've never done it.
Oh, okay.
We've
So that's a
never done it.
passion.
We talk about it. So how I want it to look is I want to surprise my kids on Christmas morning with their suitcases already packed, and that's what they unwrap. And then we
Oh,
just
that'd
get
be
in the
cool.
car and we drive to the airport,
Wow.
is how I want it to look. I think that would be fun because they love Hawaii and they always ask
Who
to go back.
doesn't?
Like when I ask them, I'm like, hey, where do you guys want to go on vacation? They're like, Maui. And I'm like, okay, not this year. I'm like, Daddy said no. That's what I say. Like, Daddy said no.
Oh, so you passed a buck.
Yes. Daddy said no, we can't go back this year. And but that's how I think the last 2 years I've been like, oh, like, wouldn't this be fun? But the bad part is for me is that because I'm a controller, we usually do year-end inventory right after Christmas. And so I can't be gone. So it doesn't really work out in my favor at this point. But that is what I would like to do is just, and we've even talked about like celebrating Christmas early and
Christmas in July.
yeah, that would work. But I feel like going to Hawaii in July, like the weather is just as hot in Indiana. I might as well just stay home. It's
We
hot.
were
have too
there.
much
But
water
it's
around you.
definitely not the same atmosphere
Mhm.
at all. And that's really what you go for. It's just the atmosphere and the tropical vibe of it all. And
Yes.
Pog juice. Pog juice is amazing. It is like my favorite thing. Oh, Mary, did you not get pog juice when you were there?
Apparently I didn't.
Oh, you have to go get pog juice.
I'll have to go back. What's
It
pug
is,
juiced?
it is, I believe it's pomegranate, orange juice, and grape juice.
Oh,
No, it's guava. I think it's guava.
okay.
Pomegranate, orange, and guava. And you can only get it in Hawaii and Disney.
Oh, okay. We're on Waikiki.
Okay. So I went there a long time ago. When my oldest daughter was 6, we went when she was in kindergarten. And I don't remember having it there. So I don't know if it's island specific because
Yeah.
when we went to Maui, they had it. And I was like, one morning for breakfast, I was like, oh, let me try this. And I was like, this is so refreshing. This is amazing. And so then it became my new obsession. And so the hotel that we were staying at, they had freshly baked cookies every afternoon for snack. And so after we left, I kept saying, I only want to go back because I want pog juice and cookies. That's all I want. And then
Freshly baked cookies in the
yes,
afternoon.
yes, and they were always chocolate chip cookies and white chocolate macadamia nut, and they were fabulous. And when we went there, I was like, okay, as soon as we get our key, like I'm going and I'm getting pog juice. And then I got it and I was like, I feel like I hyped it up so much. It wasn't as good. Like it was like disappointing. And I was like, I mean, it's still good. Like
Right.
you absolutely need to try it. But I was a little let down when I had it again.
Oh,
But yeah.
let's go try it.
Yes.
We're at the exciting point. Now, if Jason is still in the room, you're going to love this. So, this week, we're actually starting something new. It's actually called Positive Intelligence, helping increase your brain, stuff like that. And I actually start the class this Friday. Now, we have an all-in-one community that's for all the coaches out there. It's a free community to join. A lot of stuff that we're going to be doing in the class is going to bring challenges to the group. So if you're a coach out there, you want to be part of this group and you're going to want to take part in these challenges. This positive intelligence is all about using both sides of your brain and being more active, not allowing the sabotage to take over and using your sage part of your brain so that you're more effective and actually do more. And do more in your tasks that you're doing. So make sure you're in that community because it's going to get active for these next 7 weeks as I bring a lot of the challenges into the community. So you want to definitely check it out. Now, second thing I want to mention is we have an all-in-one system that's really geared to helping you out. And it's a CRM, marketing, everything like that. So it's really catered to helping you out. One of the best features in it, I'm just going to let you know, you can post on all the social medias at the same time, and you can schedule it out so that you don't even have to worry. Matter of fact, we post advertising for the special guest a week beforehand. That's all done automatically. Like I've already got it set up. All of October is already set up to post automatically on all my social medias automatically. So it's one of the greatest things of it. And so make sure you check it out. All the links are in the description below. And then the final thing I want to mention to you is we've got a lot of things coming, a lot of great things. And one of the things is we have a great event on Fridays. It is an event that is completely free. It's for coaches. It's where you can mingle, you can have fun, encourage, challenge. It's just a free for all for coaches just to really help them out. And it is free. And how you get to it is be in the community and join in. It's also in the description below. It's on Fridays. So you may want to make sure that you're there. And the greatest thing I have to tell you about, we are so honored to have Sarah here today with us. This was a great talk, and I think she wants to let us know about something.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in just connecting with me or just finding out more about what I do in my coaching practice, you can look on my website at sarahhinshawcoaching.com. From there, you can schedule a consultation and we can just connect and network that way. If you are interested in one-on-one coaching, that is available as well. But I do have a lot of exciting things in the works for the coming of the new year. Just looking to scale my business a little bit more and add some more offerings. And I'm just excited to what the future holds. A lot of things have been landing in my lap that have been very unexpected. And so I'm grateful for the opportunities to continue to not only grow in my practice, but change lives as well.
Nice.
And if you want her website, it's in the description below. So you can just easily click on that and just go right there. It has definitely been an honor to have you. And we look forward to the next time you're on.
Thank
New
you.
sweater or not, doesn't have.
Yes, right.
Not necessary.
Perfect.
But we have similar to the same colors. Yours is brighter, mine's duller, but I mean, it's similar. Yours is thicker, mine's thinner.
Well, that's because you're dressing like it's still summer and it's not.
65.
I'm transitioning.
65 is comfortable to be in shorts. 50 is comfortable for shorts.
Okay, 65. Mary's got her blanket on, and
So we want to thank everybody for being here. And make sure you check us out again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And Mary?
y'all just do the dang thing. Do it for you. Have a good week.